friends, I'm Elena from Moldova. Please like and subscribe. I was born in a small village to a single mother who achieved great success when she relocated to the metropolis. My mum was an entrepreneur, and every business she'd start would become a gold mine. And Mum spoiled me rotten. I just had to look at something and she'd get it for me. For my 7th birthday, I asked her if I could have a bigger swimming pool, and she had a water park installed in her backyard. My friends and I were ecstatic when we saw it. Oh, Mom, my God, Mom, you're the best!
Anything for you, dear. And don't forget the doctor's advice. Speak slowly, and you won't stutter as much.
Yeah, I used to stutter a lot when I was young. I mostly had it under control, but it could get worse when I was nervous or excited. But aside from that, my life was perfect, and everyone wished they were me. That is, until the 10th grade, when Mom's company stock crashed one day and she was left with nothing. We were gonna lose our house! I decided to ask my friends for help, but that's when they all revealed their true nature.
So sorry, Elena, but we're facing financial problems too.
I want to assist, but my dad works incredibly hard, and I doubt he'll give your mom any money. He always claims she got wealthy purely by chance.
Luck? My mom works really.
Your mom works really hard? I don't think so, and Dad's right. Now go away, please. We don't have all day for you to finish your sentence.
Gosh, people could change so fast. We did lose the house, and Mom decided to send me to her hometown to live with a friend for a while. Though I hated the idea of being away from her, I agreed for her sake. By the time I landed at the airport, I was already homesick. But just then I saw a boy my age holding a placard with my name. Hey, you must be here for me. Wow, it's really hot here. Wait, aren't you gonna pick up my bags?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Where are my manners? I'm Gabriel, and guess what? I'm not your servant, so pick them up yourself.
How rude! I carried my bags and followed him outside, only to find a donkey. Where's the sea car?
Gosh, you sound like a broken record. That's your ride, princess, so hop on.
That was my first experience on a donkey cart. I didn't mind, but the entire journey I felt like hitting this boy Gabriel for mocking me. Mom's friend was delightful though. She embraced me the moment she saw me and then led me to a tiny room. This is so cute! My cat has a room just like this.
I had to leave my room for this city brat. Look, if you don't like it, you can always sleep in the basement. It's got lots of space. And pets too. A family of rats.
What a jerk. I wouldn't have lasted a day there without his amazing mom. And I mostly tried to pretend he didn't exist. A week later, I started school. And surprisingly, I made friends instantly. But soon I discovered why. All the girls wanted to know what it was like living under the same roof as Gabriel. Not great, because he's a moron.
A handsome moron!
A few days later, our school was having a football match, and I volunteered as the water girl. Gabriel was team captain, and all the girls were chanting his name. Geez, so lame! Sure, he was handsome, but just a little. I was so busy looking at him that I didn't notice this player trying to catch a ball. And he crashed straight into me. Are you trying to kill me? Watch where you're going!
Great advice. I'll remember it for next time.
He just smiled like an idiot. And before running off, he winked at me. The next day, I saw the same player outside my school, with thousands of roses. As soon as he spotted me, his silly smile was back.
Hey, beautiful. These are for you. By the way, I'm Nova.
Wow! That's a lot of roses. Thanks. Nova was on the football team of another school, but he just turned up outside every day to ask me out. I kept saying no, but he wasn't taking it. And then one day at home, I saw a car pull up outside with Nova in the back seat. But just then I saw Gabriel's mum go to the car. And the driver stepped out, handed her an envelope, and left. What was that all about? Later I asked Gabriel's mum, and she told me her husband used to work for Nova's dad. And even after he was gone, the family kept helping her with money. They were even paying for Gabriel's school. Wow! That made me see Nova in a different light. So the next time he asked me out, I said yes. When Nova picked me up for our first date, he said, "I was surprised. This is where you live. How do you know these people?" I told him everything about why I had moved here.
I'm sorry, that sounds tough. But just be careful of that Gabriel.
What do you mean?
Gabriel's dad worked for us, and we'd play together as kids. But I always felt like he resented us, especially me. Like he hates me because I was born rich and he wasn't. I'm sure he has nothing nice to say about me, even after everything my family does for him.
I didn't have trouble believing that. Gabriel was always mocking me too, for being some rich brat. My date with Nova was totally unexpected. Instead of taking me to some fancy restaurant, he took me to a soup kitchen for the homeless, and we signed up as volunteers.
I always come here when I want to do something special. Feels good, doesn't it?
This boy was so sweet. When he dropped me back home, I found Gabriel on the porch.
Seriously? You're dating Nova? Did the rest of the male population die?
What's your problem? He's a nice guy.
Oh, yeah? So where'd you go on a date? Was it an orphanage this time? Or a pet shelter to see some poor puppies? That's the kind of stuff he does on first dates to impress girls.
I don't expect you to understand what it means to be genuinely nice.
I didn't expect you to be this dumb. But hey, you surprised me. Actually, you guys deserve each other. Two spoiled brats.
Nova was right about him. He sounded so judgy and bitter. I started going out with Nova and was having a good time, but he was always too generous with fancy dinners and gifts, which made me uncomfortable. Nova, I wish you wouldn't. I can't give you gifts like these.
I'm not expecting anything. But I can spoil my girlfriend, can't I?
He gently kissed me for the first time. And I didn't exactly feel sparks. And I felt he was falling for me much too fast. The next morning, I didn't see Gabriel or his mom anywhere. And then I found them both in her room. She was in bed with a high fever. When we called the doctor, he said she'd caught some virus. He advised us to stay home from school for 2 weeks too. I really wanted to help in some way, so I made soup for her. I was carrying it up to her room when Gabriel stopped me.
What's that?
It's soup. Mom would give this to me when I was sick.
No, thanks. You're not giving that to my mom. How would you know how to cook anything when you never had to lift a finger?
And suddenly I snapped. Gabriel, can you just shut up for once? Yeah, I used to be rich. It's not a crime, and I'm not useless and spoiled. I pushed him aside and went up with the tray. Gosh, I was so sick of him. Later at night, there was a knock on my door, and Gabriel peeked in.
I'm sorry about earlier. I shouldn't have spoken to you like that.
Yeah, you shouldn't have, but it's okay. I get that you're worried about your mom.
Yeah, but I haven't been very nice to you. I'll be better.
After that day, Gabriel and I kinda became friends. We took turns caring for his mom and doing household chores. And at night, we'd sit outside and talk for hours. He was sweet and simple and was really starting to grow on me. 2 weeks flew by and his mom recovered completely. One day, Gabriel was working in the garden while I was reading and observing how good he looked, when suddenly he spoke.
Hey, Elena, can you check if the water is coming from the hose? I don't know if it's broken or...
Just as I picked it up, water came gushing straight at my face, and Gabriel was laughing like crazy.
Gosh, you are so easy to trick.
I picked up a handful of mud as he ran off. As I was chasing him, he tripped and fell, and then I rubbed the mud all over his face.
What are you doing to her? Jerk!
Nova was about to attack Gabriel when I stopped him. Hey, we were just playing. I started it.
And why were you doing that? Did you forget I was picking you up for dinner?
You're gonna tell her what she can and can't do now.
The boys looked ready to kill each other. So I dragged Nova aside and told him to wait in the car while I cleaned up. I had totally forgotten about dinner at his place. Nova lived in a mansion with his dad, who welcomed me warmly.
You're living with Gabriel and his mom, right? His father was a close friend of mine.
Friend? Come on, Dad, he was our servant. Dad's really soft-hearted and likes helping people. Gabriel would have never gone to school if it weren't for him.
And I'm glad I helped because that boy is hardworking and will make something of himself. Unlike some entitled rich kids I know.
Just then his dad excused himself and Nova flung his plate at the wall.
This is what happens every time I bring that jerk up. Dad has always liked Gabriel more than me.
I'm sure that's not true.
Don't think I'm blind or stupid. You like Gabriel more too, don't you? You've been avoiding me for 2 weeks just to spend more time with him.
Are you crazy? I told you his mom was unwell.
Liar!
I stared at him in shock, and he suddenly snapped out of his anger.
Elena, I'm sorry.
I'd like to go home, please. I felt shaken. On my way back, Nova was turning out to be really strange. And at home, Gabriel was sitting in the kitchen with an unpleasant face.
You're back early.
Were you waiting for me?
Yeah, waiting to tell you that you're an idiot for dating Nova. He's fake and horrible. Why can't you see that? Are you blinded by his expensive gifts or too impressed by his mansion?
I was gonna tell him I was breaking up with Nova, but that made me so mad. There you are. Back to being a jerk. Mind your own business, Gabriel. And don't talk to me. Gabriel and I stopped talking after that day, and I broke up with Nova too. He kept begging me to forgive him, but I held my ground. He was just too much. A few days later, Mom called me with the most amazing news. Her company was up and running again, and she wanted me to come home. I decided I'd leave right after the final exams the next week. There was nothing keeping me here. Anyway, after exam week, there was a big football match between our school and Nova's, and I made sure to sit far behind on the bleachers so he wouldn't spot me. The match was an intense one. Gabriel and Nova kept butting heads on the field and almost broke into a fight. But our team won by a large margin, and Nova stormed off the field furiously. Gabriel looked so happy, and I wanted to congratulate him. I thought I'd catch him outside the locker room. But I walked into the building to find 2 guys pinning him against the wall as Nova punched him. Stop it! Nova, don't hurt him! Nova turned to me with crazy eyes.
Oh, how worried you are now. But you didn't care when you hurt me. I know you broke up with me because you have feelings for this worm. After all that money I spent on you. I thought because you were rich once you'd have some class, but you're just cheap.
You're a psycho. And yeah, I like Gabriel a lot. Now I understand why your dad likes him better.
You'll pay for saying that. I'll make sure Dad stops giving them any money. I'll convince him. You'll see.
No, you won't, Nova, because I've seen everything I needed to, and I am so disappointed in you.
We turned around to see Nova's dad, who'd come to see the match, and he looked furious. He grabbed Nova's arm and led him away. Gabriel, are you okay? Yours face.
I'm fine, Elena.
I should have listened to you about Nova.
No, I was unfair and mean to you, and I'm really sorry about what you said back there. Is it true?
Which part?
The part where you said you like me a lot.
Yeah, I like you. Big deal.
Like me because I like you?
I guess it's just you then. He grinned and pulled me in for a kiss, and it was perfect.
Hi, I'm Lily, and I'm your typical high school nerd. Except I have a very big secret. Want to know more? Stick around. And yeah, like and subscribe to my channel. I lived with my parents and twin sister, Catherine. During my upbringing, I was an extremely quiet child and mostly stayed to myself. I read books and achieved perfect grades. However, Catherine was entirely different. She was the school's queen bee, exceptionally beautiful. And each week, she would date a new boy who would instantly fall for her.
You are so perfect, Catherine. I love you.
Aw, sweetie, you're not too bad yourself. I love your smile.
I love your smile and your eyes and your perfect little hands. I love everything about you.
Can you guys go and be irritating somewhere else? I'm trying to do my homework and your sweet talk is making me queasy.
Are we making you jealous? Because honestly, the only guy you'd ever kiss is your stuffed panda.
At least he's permanent. Unlike the losers you date for 2 weeks, then dump and file restraining orders against because they end up stalking you. I wonder what will become of this new arm candy. A piece of advice, lover boy. Run before it's too late. Catherine threw a cushion at my head and left, and I couldn't help but giggle. But she wasn't entirely wrong. I was a bit envious of her. Even though I was smarter and more composed than Catherine, I was always known as the other twin or the nerdy one. No guy ever gave me the same kind of attention as Catherine. Well, no one except Sid. He was the spoiled son of a wealthy industrialist and was really popular for his silly pranks in school. The first time I saw him was on the first day of high school when he rollerbladed into me in the school hallway, and we both landed on our butts.
Wow! I've never seen anyone like you before.
Really?
Of course! I mean, how many people can be as stupid and blind as you are? You've got to be someone special.
Excuse me, but you crashed into me. You should be apologizing.
You're right. Where are my manners? I'm sorry for calling you blind. 'Cause you also have an incredibly twitchy face, and you sound like a pregnant horse when you talk. Now I know I'm very handsome, and you'd rather spend your day staring at me, but I'm late for class.
And Sid just pushed past me and left. I was hoping to never run into him again. But then I walked into the class, and the teacher introduced him as the new student. To make things worse, she appointed me as his student tutor to bring him up to date with the classes. Later, as I sat with Sid in the library, I saw him staring at me funny.
You must be so happy.
What makes you say that?
Come on. I saw how you were staring at me in the hallway. You like me, and it's cool. So how about we ditch these books and make out?
How about I punch your face and fracture your nose?
My plan's better.
Sid slid to my side and our faces were inches apart.
Do you always smell like this?
Like what?
Like a mix of poop and garlic. Your breath stinks.
What the heck? I thought with time, Sid would find a new target. But a whole year went by and he only got more annoying in my locker and it chewed all my books. And another time, Sid pulled out a fake snake from his bag and threw it in my face in the middle of a chemistry class. I got spooked, tripped, and crashed into a table full of chemicals. We couldn't enter the lab for a whole week thanks to the smell of rotten eggs. But despite everything, I had one thing going on right. My secret matchmaking website. I was Mrs. Cupid, famous for giving advice to anonymous kids who are suffering in their love life. Dear Miss Cupid, I have a crush on this mega hot chick. But since she's the most popular girl in school, she never notices me. How do I get her to date me? Dear Agent Hot Abs, I'm sorry, but the only way you'll get a girl like that to date you is in your dreams. But try the Math Club, Drama Club, and Polar Bear Rides Club. You've got a lot of pretty girls in there. And a month later, Agent Hot Abs confirmed that he was dating a theater club girl. Another time, I got an email from the bimbo babe. Dear Miss Cupid, I want a boyfriend, but I don't want to sound too desperate. What should I do? Dear Bimbo. Babe, if you're writing this email, it means you're already desperate. And something about your name tells me you're not too smart either. Try searching the library for some hot geeks. This way you can find a date and maybe learn a thing or two. Win-win. Dating someone too. Another score for Miss Cupid. I'm making your dreams come true.
There you are!
I jumped in shock as Sid walked up from behind me and I shut my laptop.
What you hiding on that computer? Are you stalking me on Instagram? I knew it. You have a crush on me.
I don't! Now stop snooping around and leave!
Not so soon.
Sid snatched the laptop from my hand. I tried to get it back, but that sleazebag wouldn't let go. Finally, the laptop fell on the ground and the screen flew open.
No way! You're Mrs. Cupid! You give advice to corny teenagers. Oh my god, I'm dying. I think I might have coughed up a lung.
Shut up, you moron. And yeah, I am Mrs. Cupid, but if you tell anybody, I swear I will end you.
I won't tell anyone if you agree to set me up with someone. I know you're probably wondering why a hot guy like me would need your help, but I want to see how good you are.
I'd rather eat a bag of worms than help you. Suddenly, Sid ran out of the door and screamed into the school hallway.
Hey everybody, our grand school Mandy Mrs. Cupid is none other than...
I covered his mouth and yanked him back into the classroom. Why are you doing this? You haven't dated a single girl this whole year and now suddenly you want a girlfriend?
Maybe I'm bored and this could be a welcome change. Now, do we have a deal?
Ugh, I hate this, but fine. I'll find a date for you. And if you two hit it off, you have to promise to permanently get off my back.
Whatever you say, princess!
I know it was probably the worst idea to help Sid, but I also didn't want anyone to find out I was Miss Cupid. It was the one good thing in my life. I wasn't going to let all my hard work go down the drain. So I sat up all night trying to find the perfect match for Sid. And the next day, I arranged a few dates for Sid, but they all ended up in massive disasters.
Have you seen my new rubber chicken collection?
You're what?
Rubber chicken, you know, the one you squeeze and it makes a sound. Let me show you an example.
I'm a dorky chick.
Okay. Actually, I just remembered I have to take my cat for a manicure. See you around.
And we never saw her again. The next day, Sid met another girl at a burger joint and sneakily placed his dumb rubber chicken in her food. Just as she took a bite, the toy made a sound and she almost passed out. This happened a few more times before I finally lost my mind and cornered Sid. What's the matter with you? And what's with this stupid obsession with rubber chickens?
What? I really like them. And if I can't share my passion, what's even the point of having a girlfriend?
If you really want this to work, you've got to step up your date game. Carrying chicken toys to dates is not how you woo a girl.
Really? Then how do you woo a girl?
Sid came closer, staring into my eyes, and for a second I forgot how to breathe. But then he just pulled my laptop closer and stared at the screen.
Oh, this one sounds interesting. Dear Cupid Lovelock, I'm tired of dating the same guy over and over again. Find me someone different. Bored Anonymous.
Yeah, cool. Now sit back and let me work my magic. I texted Bored Anonymous that the boy she was looking for would meet her in the library with a red book in hand. And the next day, Sid sat at the desk with the book while I hid behind the wall waiting for Bored Anonymous to show up. I almost threw up when I saw Catherine walk in and she went straight to Sid. She was Bored Anonymous.
Mind if I take this seat?
I don't see why not.
Catherine pulled out a chair and I waited for Sid to do something stupid. But surprisingly, they got along really well. They were cracking up at Sid's jokes and Sid was blushing like a stupid girl. And weirdly enough, I started feeling kinda jealous watching them together. I was still lost in my thoughts when Sid walked over.
That went well.
You don't actually think you can date my sister, do you?
Why? Catherine is fun, cool, and pretty to look at. Why should I not date her?
Because you guys are totally different and she's known to crush boys and walk all over them.
That was before she met me. I'm gonna steal her heart and she won't know what hit her. In fact, she just asked me to be her date at this super cool party, and I think I'm going to go.
Guess what? I'll be there too, with my boyfriend.
You know you can't bring an imaginary person to a party, right?
He's not imaginary. He's a very real person, you'll see.
I can't wait!
Neither can I. And yeah, don't forget your rubber chickens. I walked away feeling kind of miserable. I had less than 5 hours to find myself a boyfriend. So I just asked one of the guys from the chemistry class to be my date, and he said yes. The party was nice and I was having a good time until Sid showed up with Catherine on his arm and sat right next to me and my date.
Oh, my sweet honey buns, I could stare into your eyes forever.
I can stare deeper.
I can stare into your soul and I can say you're an angel.
That doesn't even make any sense.
It's a metaphor.
It's stupid. Are you two done? Because I want to dance. Sid, come on. We'll join you.
But I don't know how to dance.
Just follow my lead. I dragged my date, but he kept missing steps, banged into a bunch of people. At one point, he stomped on my feet so bad I had to sit down with an ice pack. I didn't see Sid and Catherine after that, and the next day they were officially dating. Sid was so lost in Catherine's love, he didn't pay any attention to me. No pranks, no rude comments, not even a glance, and it made me so mad. But I knew it was only a matter of days till Catherine would dump Sid. Despite our weird relationship, he was kinda the only friend I had, and I didn't want him to end up hating me after Catherine dumped him. So I tried talking to Catherine about it. So you and Sid, huh? When are you dumping him?
Not this time. I actually like this guy and I think I'm gonna stick around.
But he's so uncultured and weird. And I might warn you, he has an unhealthy obsession with rubber chicken toys. It's bizarre.
So he's a funny guy. And why are you so interested in Sid anyway? You never paid attention to the guys I've dated in the past.
I'm just looking out for you.
Yeah, right. Stop prying and mind your own business.
Catherine catwalked her way out of the room, and I kept thinking about what she said. Why was it bothering me so much that Sid was dating Catherine? Did I have feelings for him? Oh no. Yuck. I just shoved whatever stupid thoughts I had aside and decided to focus on my studies. But my concentration was all over the place. Then one day I was in the library breaking my head over some complicated math equation when someone pulled my notebook. Sid, give that back.
I will when you tell me. Why are you so mad at me?
Why would I be mad at you? Do I look mad at you? You and I are not friends. That I'll be mad enough to be mad at you. That'll be madness. And I'm not that mad. I grabbed my book and turned to leave, but Sid got in the way.
I'm not done talking. Did you tell Catherine that I'm uncultured and weird?
Maybe.
Why?
Because it's the truth. You are weird and creepy, and you don't care about anyone's feelings. Remember how you chased me around for a year saying the stupidest things? And now that you have a girlfriend, it's like I don't even exist.
I thought you wanted me to back off, and now you're bothered by it. What do you want, Lily?
Don't know. Okay, maybe I'm just mad at you for not even saying a thank you. If not for me, Catherine would never date a rubber chicken-loving brat like you.
Fine, thank you. Happy now? Anyway, I came here to ask your opinion on this necklace I got for Catherine for prom, but I guess it was a stupid mistake.
Glad to know that. There's something you can figure out on your own. Sid and I didn't talk after that. And I just spent most of my days locked up in my room, eating tubs of ice cream and watching Luna Avatar. Watching these stories made me realize how stupid I was to chase a guy who didn't even like me. So I decided to keep my self-respect and forget about Sid, even though it broke my heart. Then, a few days later, it was prom, and I decided not to go. I was casually sitting in my living room when I heard a car pull up in the driveway. I peeked outside the window and saw Catherine kissing some guy who looked nothing like Sid. What the heck was that?
It's called none of your business.
No, it's called cheating. You're dating Sid, remember? Your boyfriend? Ex-boyfriend, I've decided to dump him. So he doesn't actually know? Catherine, he genuinely likes you.
Well, they all do. I'm literally perfect. But you know me. I get bored so easily. And this Sid was a total freak. He keeps annoying me with those stupid rubber chicken toys, and all he ever did was joke and talk and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I can just drop him a text now.
Catherine pulled out her phone, but I just snatched it and threw it away. And then I pounced on her like a wild cat while she struggled to push me away. Finally, my parents walked in and threw me off. I can't believe I thought you're capable of changing. I should have fought harder for Sid. I should have just asked him not to date you when I figured you were bored.
How did you... Miss Cupid? Oh my god, you liar! I should have known it was you. Only someone too lame to get a boyfriend would have so much time to find boyfriends for others.
You're calling me a liar? What about you cheating, backstabbing witch?
At least I have a life. All you have is this desperate attempt to save your sanity.
I will kick your butt like a bazooka. I charged at Catherine one more time, but before I could grab her, Dad screamed at us to stop. Then suddenly he fell to the ground unconscious. We immediately called 911 and took him to the hospital. Apparently, Dad had been under tremendous work stress that impacted his heart, and now he needed immediate surgery. But it was really expensive, and we didn't have that kind of money. Mom had some savings, but it wasn't enough. So Catherine asked her friends for help, but she was only met with more closed doors. We were running out of options when the nurse told us that someone had paid our bill in full. What? Who? The donor wants to keep his name anonymous. Sorry. With the bill being finally paid, Dad went into surgery, and thankfully it was successful. I was happy and I couldn't stop thinking about this anonymous donor. So I waited for everyone to sleep and then slowly made my way to the computer in the reception area. I typed in Dad's name and the bill had no name, but it did have a number. Sid's. Sid paid the bill. I can't believe this. He must really like you a lot.
I don't think he did this for me, dummy. I've seen the way he looks at you. He likes you. And I definitely know you like him.
Sorry about that.
Don't worry. Now go before it's too late. Yeah, don't ask Miss Cupid for help. She kind of sucks.
I smiled and rushed out of the hospital. But it was too late at night and I couldn't find a cab. Disappointed, I was headed back to the hospital when I noticed a car in the parking lot and Sid sleeping inside it. I walked over and banged on the window.
What? What? I have a weapon! Lily?
Sid stepped out of the car, and I immediately hugged him. Thank you for saving my dad. I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't stepped in. But what are you doing in the parking lot?
I stuck around in case you needed more help. Listen, Lily, there's something you should know. I like you. I was stupid to be playing games with you to begin with, but I thought you weren't interested in me. I started dating your sister to get some reaction out of you, and I did get a bit infatuated with her, but I started seeing her true color soon enough, before she even dumped me. I know I was crazy, and should have just told you I like you in the first place, but...
Hey, I like you too! Always have. But I needed you to date Catherine to finally see that.
Guess we both kinda messed up.
We can still make it, right?
I'd like that.
Sid leaned in, and I was sure he was going to kiss me this time. But instead, he handed me a rubber chicken. You really know how to woo a girl?
Hi, I'm Julia. I live in France. And I'm the girl with the perfect life, curious about what perfect means. Let's stick around to find out. By the way, please like and subscribe for Luna Avatar. I grew up in a well-off family. My dad is a successful entrepreneur. Every venture he started turned into a gold mine. My mom is an international artist. In my parents' eyes, I'm a diamond ring, and they spoiled me endlessly. Anything I touched, my dad would buy for me. On my 10th birthday, I asked my dad if I could start ballet lessons, and he built a huge dance studio in our backyard. My friends were jealous when they saw it.
Oh, Dad, you're the most awesome person alive!
I only did a small thing for my treasure. And remember the doctor's advice, sweetheart. Don't get overexcited.
Yep, I get worse when I worry or get too joyful. Overall, my life is perfect, and every kid dreams of being me. But as I grew up, things started to change. Dad was often busy at the company and rarely came home, and Mom was touring everywhere. We didn't spend much time together, and I was also busy with my own life. At least we still had our annual family vacation on my birthday. I'm really eager to go to China for my 18th birthday. It's wrong to count your chickens before they hatch. My parents' decision ruined everything.
Julia, your mom and I have decided to separate.
What? Separate? But why?
Baby, we're getting a divorce.
Are you serious, Mom? Dad?
We felt stuck in a hole for a long time.
Are you saying we're not a happy family? I've owned every collection before they were even released. You have fame, and Dad has mansions and a private yacht. We have an amazing life. We are happy people.
We're not happy together. We don't want to continue like this forever. It's better for us to separate now.
No way! I'll do whatever it takes to stop this!
Sorry, Julia, but it doesn't depend on you. Your dad and I need to free each other. Don't you feel like you're being selfish, only wanting to keep all the good things for yourself?
I got mad, threw a vase, ran to my room, and slammed the door. A few weeks later, Mom moved out and they officially divorced. The days that followed were the worst of my life. I imprisoned myself in my room and cried. It was such a crisis for a fragile soul like me. I overthought ways to reverse everything, but my plans soon went down the cliff when Dad told me that. He is dating a woman and wants me to meet her at dinner tonight. Of course, I hate it, but I don't want to make Dad sad. I have no choice. I arrived at the meeting point and saw my dad standing side by side with an elegant lady and a girl.
You must be Julia. I'm Kayla. Your dad has told me so much about you.
Oh, thank God, my father just talked about you to me this morning. You know, he has a wife and I don't think he should have a girlfriend. No, I must call you a home.
Homewrecker?
Haha, Julia just wants to make everyone laugh. She's so talkative.
Right! Laugh every moment you can because your time dating my dad won't last long.
Enough! Julia!
Never mind, Dad. I find her quite interesting. By the way, I'm Doris. It's nice to meet you. Why don't we go out and have some fun?
Wait, did this girl just call my dad Dad? Jerk, I follow her to see what stupid things she will do.
She showed me around, and everywhere was filled with her awards. Even while sitting in the living room, my dad couldn't stop talking about Doris's perfection, which drove me crazy.
Doris is not only academically talented, but also an amazing ballet dancer. Julia, you should also hear Doris sing. Her voice is like an angel.
Thanks, Dad. Lame. Sounds good, but I don't care. Everyone's a singer these days, and I'm a perfect dancer, by the way.
To prove it, I got up from the chair and showed off my acrobatic skills. Unexpectedly, I lost my balance and fell hard on the floor. Dad rushed to help me, and I was so embarrassed. A few days later, things got even worse when I encountered Doris in the hallway.
Are you daring to tail me?
No. Our dad just enrolled me at your school. By the way, how's your arm? You took quite a fall. I used to be a gymnast, so if you want, I can give you some tips to recover quicker.
Oh, that's kind of you, but it's none of your business. Besides, he's my dad, not our dad. You might fool everyone with your pretty face, but I won't be fooled. Witchy!
I walked away before she could respond. I was really annoyed that everyone around seemed to admire her. The girls praising her style, and the guys were fighting each other to talk to her.
Look at her, trying to slay as much as possible. I just want to rush in and scratch that dirty face.
I understand your feeling. I hate home wreckers, but I think you're giving her more attention than she deserves. Julia, you're so much more beautiful and intelligent than she is.
Amber's right. I'm so much more perfect than she is, and I'm rich. Why can't I snatch her spotlight? Everything would have been fine if I hadn't walked by the dance studio and inadvertently overheard her conversation with another girl.
She'd better have good manners. I mean, it's not my fault if her parents don't want to live together, right?
Right, she's such a weirdo, but you're really gorgeous. Where do you get your hair done? Give me the stylist's number.
Doris is laughing. I have to show her who I really am. The next day, in our swimming class, I gave Doris the friendliest smile. She seemed confused until she opened her bag and a bunch of cockroaches spilled out. Doris jumped up and bumped into the guy next to her, and they both fell into the pool. I couldn't stop laughing. Another time, in basketball class, I swapped Doris's clothes with a medieval outfit, and she walked out looking like a ridiculous clown. Everyone rushed over to comfort her while I stood in the corner laughing my head off. Suddenly, Amber leaned in close to me.
It's you?
Yep. Doris looked like a rat just crawled out of the sewer. Smart move, right?
No, Julia. It's bullying. It's not the right way to get revenge on someone.
You mean my pranks are still too gentle? Okay, I'll need to step up my game with harsher ones to dump her and her mom from my family life, so my mom will come back.
It's impossible, Julia. Doris and her mom are not the cause. The issues are with your mom and dad.
Shut up! Oh, I forgot. Your mom witnessed firsthand her husband with another woman in their bedroom. You know my dad isn't cheating like that?
The moment I said it, I regretted it immediately. I was stunned to see a group of people standing behind, eavesdropping. Amber was shocked and shouted,
You're the cruel witch. That night, my mood was at rock bottom, so I went home early. But when I came through the door, I saw Kayla sneaking around talking to someone on the phone. I went closer to eavesdrop on their conversation. Suddenly my phone rang, and Kayla immediately hung up and turned to look at me with a confused expression.
Hey, sweetie, why are you back home so soon?
You, stop calling me that! Where's my dad?
I don't know. Maybe he has an appointment.
She quickly passed by me to leave, and a bunch of money accidentally fell out of her handbag. She seemed panicked, hurriedly stuffing it back into her bag before leaving in a rush. Why does she act so weird? Afterwards, I went out for dinner with Dad. I couldn't hide my suspicions about his girlfriend, so I asked him.
Does Kayla know the safes combination?
What? Why do you ask me that?
Dad, don't you think she might have fallen for you because of the money? I tried to look up information about her, but found nothing. What if she's a scammer, spy, or something like that?
No way you're overthinking, Julia. She loves me and we're happy together.
Those words made my heart split apart. The next day, when I walked into class, I saw Amber sitting next to Doris. I walked over and slammed my book down on the desk.
Are you trying to get back at me by hanging out with that witch's daughter? I thought you hated her! Bestie!
No, Julia, you're the only one who hates her. I hate you, and Doris feels the same.
No, Julia, I'm sure you didn't mean it like that. Why don't you join us? I think we can work things out.
Freak! Don't act like you're an angel! You're so fake!
Don't care about her, Doris. Making her understand this is as hard as getting a duck to dance.
Haha, you're just a duck quack! Quack! I'll show you who you're messing with.
I pushed Amber and she fell to the ground. Doris rushed to help her. At that moment, the teacher walked in and called me a troublemaker, punishing me to stand in the hallway. After that, I often bullied classmates, skipped classes, and failed subjects. My parents put me in a reform school, but eventually they gave up. My hatred for them grew stronger, and I decided to get revenge on Doris. The perfect opportunity came when my dad organized a birthday party for Doris. I had a chance to humiliate her. That night when the party started, I saw Kayla sneaking out to the backyard and talking to someone mysterious. I moved closer to listen to their conversation, my heart pounding as if it was going to burst out.
I said, don't come here.
You didn't answer the phone. I need to make sure that both you and Doris are okay.
We're better than ever. You came here for the money, didn't you? Here it is.
Thanks, by the way. I just want to say secrets are no longer secrets when two people know them.
I have no other choice. I don't want anyone to find out who I really am. So, take this money and keep your idiot mouth shut.
The mysterious guy jumped through the wall in an instant. Kayla turned around, and when she saw me behind her, she accidentally dropped the glass. Her face went pale.
I was right! You and Doris are the scammers!
Julia, it's not what you think.
Really? Or maybe a super thief or a wanted criminal. I will expose the dirty faces of both of you.
Kayla tried to stop me, but I ran inside and straight to the main stage. I turned off the music and plugged in my phone. As the man's voice started playing, Doris suddenly began to tremble. At that moment, Dad rushed over and grabbed my phone, throwing it down to the floor.
Dad, why did you do that?
I'm going crazy from your ridiculous pranks.
Ridiculous? Oh my God, these two have deceived you. She gave money to a stranger to keep some terrible secret. Dad, you've been fooled by these witches.
No, because I know the truth. The money you're talking about belongs to Kayla, not me.
And Dad told me everything. Kayla had lived in hell while married to a thug, and Doris is their daughter.
I didn't want my daughter to live in a toxic environment for even one more second. So, one day, when my daughter was 3 years old, I stole money from my ex-husband and ran away with Doris. We changed our names, and things started to get better, but I was always afraid that Doris's father might find us one day. The man you saw is someone I hired to protect us.
But Mom, you told me that Dad was a police officer and that he passed away before I was born.
Sorry, Doris. I don't want to mention that bastard.
Haha, what a birthday surprise! Thanks, Julia. You've succeeded in ruining my party and even my family. Are you happy now?
Doris, I don't know.
I tried to be kind because I saw you were hurting from your parents' divorce. But now I realize you only wanted to get revenge on me. It's awful, and I don't want to see your face anymore.
I felt very ashamed. Doris cried and ran to her room. I wanted to apologize, but my dad kicked me out of the house. That night, I wandered the streets, reflecting on how selfish I'd been and how blinded I was to place all the blame on Doris. It's the first time in my life I've felt this kind of regret and guilt. The next morning, Dad sadly told me that Doris and Kayla had gone to the airport to leave for London. I rushed to the airport to find them.
What are you doing here?
I don't want you to leave. Listen, Doris, I was selfish and jealous. I thought you came to take everything from me. My dad, my best friend, my life. You were right. I was truly selfish.
You know, we've moved around a lot, and I didn't have any siblings or friends. I was genuinely excited to think that I finally had a stable place and a family. I wasn't trying to steal anything from you.
I'm sorry, I don't know what else to say. Can we become a family?
Are you serious?
Yes, it's all from the heart. And we went back home.
The next day, I went to Amber's house to apologize to her.
Amber, I'm so sorry. I was a terrible friend. I hurt you when you were trying to help me do the right thing.
Amber smiled and walked toward me.
I'm not holding a grudge. Why don't we go on a trip to China?
Hi, I'm Elena from Milan, Italia. Please like and subscribe. I grew up without a dad, but I had a rich mom who owned an international fashion brand. Well, that's also why my parents decided to get divorced, because he couldn't cope with her overambitious nature. But to be honest, I'm not that close with my mom. She doesn't have much time for me, and I usually see her once a month after her overseas trips, when she brings me a gazillion toys. I guess that was her way of making up for the absence, but I wasn't complaining. I spend a lot of time chatting with my stuffed penguin and acting out scenes from the stories I watch on the Luna avatar. But as I grew up, I started noticing how absent my mom was from my life. She rarely took me to school, and of course she'd miss important events there all the time. When I was in 5th grade, I was chosen to play Juliet because of my acting skills. I went home and proudly told my mom, "Mom, you have to be there that day!"
All right, sweetie, I promise.
Good night, good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it be morrow. But by the time she reached school, the play was over.
I'm sorry, honey, I got stuck with something important.
I know, Mom, I can never be as important to you as your work.
Sweetheart, I'm doing this for you. One day this company will be yours.
I don't want to work for your stupid company. Mom, you see, my dream is to become an actress. My drama teacher says I have talent and could become as famous as Margot Robbie someday.
OMG, you're delusional. I'll talk to your teacher about putting such silly ideas into your head. Acting is for losers who've got nothing better to do.
You know, nothing happened because my mom was too busy with her fashion shows and had no time to argue anymore. But the acting bug in me never died. I joined the school's drama club and participated in all kinds of plays. Of course, Mom had no clue about it. Once, when I was 17, I was at the mall and noticed a girl who seemed to be following me. She trailed me from the hair salon to the ice cream shop, always giving me a glare. Thought something was fishy, so I cornered her when I got the chance. What's your problem? Did I do something wrong to you? Or if you want an autograph, just say so.
You're such a witch! Stop flirting with my crush!
She lunged at the girl standing next to me, and I felt more embarrassed than the statue of David.
First, he's not your boyfriend, and second, he's already agreed to go out with me. Grr, if a moron like you hadn't shown up, I would have had a happy relationship.
Hey, don't be so harsh, girl. After helping deal with the stalker, the girl treated me to pizza.
My name's Daisy. Thanks for your help.
Daisy told me about the relationship problem she was facing. She wanted to dump her boyfriend Leo because she'd fallen in love with her new neighbor. New neighbor? Is that the stalker's crush?
Yep.
Your love life is such a mess.
So do you have a BF?
Yes, of course. He's named Jackie. When we first met, it was raining, and he offered me his jacket, and since then I've called him Jackie E. I excitedly told Daisy about the boyfriend in my dreams. Well, by the way, I have a way to help you solve your problem. Pick up the phone and invite your Leo to dinner. Leo was supposed to take Daisy out on a date at a restaurant. Moments after they were seated, I catwalked in with a massive curly wig and the ugliest glasses. The love of my life! The apple pull up my eyes! You said you loved my thick curly hair. Then what are you doing with this witch with a boring ponytail?
Who are you? Do we know each other?
Oh, don't be so cruel, my coochie COO. I know I've put on 25 ounces, but I promised to put in the extra hours at the gym.
Stop it. Daisy, believe me, I've never met this girl before. She's lying.
Please don't dump me. I can accept you having 2 girlfriends, or I can switch to a ponytail. I'm willing to die for you, my precious, but don't call me liar. I know your favorite color is blue. You love dumplings. You still watch Popeye, and you fart when you sneeze. Daisy simply shook her head.
That doesn't prove anything.
I can't believe you've been cheating on me with this thing. I'm done with you.
With that, Daisy marched off before Leo could make sense of what had just happened. I quietly snuck out too. The next day at school, Daisy and I couldn't stop laughing about the whole thing. You're a liar! Don't call me liar.
Thanks. Your acting skills were so sick that Leo didn't try to contact me again. Now I have time to date my new neighbor at home.
On the other side, things were going from bad to worse between Mom and me. She wanted me to focus on studies, but my heart was in theater. I wanted to join an acting school in New York, but she just wouldn't let me. One morning after a heated argument with Mom, I was rushing to my class when I bumped into something rock solid. What the rock? You got buttons for eyes? I looked up and saw Leo.
Oh, I just transferred to this school because I find it hard to stay away from my girlfriend.
Daisy, huh? I thought you two had broken up?
No, I mean, wasn't I your coochie COO just a few days ago? Actually, you did me a favor too. I knew Daisy was going around with another guy while we were dating.
What? And you still dated her? Are you in that case?
Well, I was about to confront her that day, but you, my savior, made things easier. You put up a nice act, by the way.
He gave me a lopsided smile, and for some reason it made my heart flutter. He knew it was me. Leo was actually pretty cute. Then suddenly he was touching my long, silky hair.
Your hair is gorgeous! It's a shame you hid it behind that ugly wig that day!
I blushed and ran straight into the classroom. It felt completely different from the romantic scenes I had acted in. In the following days, I felt like Leo was intentionally bumping into me. I kept running into him in the auditorium, near the lockers, cafeteria, and restroom. Heck, he even agreed to play the role of a rock in the play I was participating in. Of course, that rock never spoke to me once. One day, as I was coming out of the library, I spotted him standing outside, whistling to himself. I felt extremely annoyed by that manner.
Are you stalking me? Let's talk, stupid rock!
I could say the same. You were the one falling all over me a few days back.
I angrily walked towards him to give him a piece of my mind, but I slipped on something and landed straight into his arms.
Oh, did you just fall? For me, again?
Before I could respond, he helped me get back on my feet and then gently pulled off the scrunchie I was wearing.
Your hair looks better this way. Free.
Then he simply turned around and left, leaving me stunned.
Oh, stop, Elena! You'll burn a hole in his shirt if you keep staring like that.
Whoa, you scared me, Daisy!
Wow, you really like him. Oh, sorry, you're still in character, aren't you?
What nonsense! He's not my type!
I would have never dumped him if you looked at me the way he was looking at you.
A week later, we had to go to the supermarket to perform our play, and I got my period on the bus. As I was getting off, Leo pulled me aside and wrapped his jacket around my waist. I rushed to the restroom and changed, and when I came out, I found him waiting outside. Even during the entire performance, he kept his gaze on me. Well, Daisy, it seems like I might be falling for Leo a little.
Yes, I knew it, and I know he feels the same about you. Let's ask him out this weekend.
This weekend's my mom's birthday. That weekend, Mom threw a grand party and invited her friends and business partners. It was such a boring party because everyone was being so fussy. But I had to for Mom's sake. As I sat in a corner sipping my juice, I heard a familiar voice.
Hey, actress! I thought there was nothing cool at a party like this.
But why are you here?
I'm here with my dad, and you?
This is my house. Then we chatted by the pool under the moonlight. Leo was smart and witty, and at one point I was about to ask him out when I noticed Mom gesturing to me to meet her outside.
Oh, my Elena, you look gorgeous in the dress from my newest collection.
Cut the drama. Get to the point, Mom.
Leo is your friend, right? His dad owns a big retail chain. If we get a chance to collaborate, our company could really grow. You know what to do. Seduce him.
I almost told her that I was going to, but then I had an idea. Your company, not our company, and I don't like him.
Please, Elena, think about the business, and I want to see our products.
Okay, but then you'll allow me to apply to that acting school. Yeah, it's like catching two rabbits with one carrot. I can date Leo and pursue my dreams at the same time. The next day, Leo and I started dating. It was pure bliss. He was even better than I had imagined.
You called me a rock? Well, my heart is becoming like a rock because of your beauty.
You're so cheesy, but I like it.
Then on my birthday, Leo planned a surprise party for me and invited the entire school. Leo showed up with a huge present. Oh, darling, it's so huge. Let me guess. It's a vase, a stuffed bear, or maybe a guinea pig.
Open it, you'll be surprised.
What? Inside the gift box was just an envelope. I carefully unfolded it. My face turned white when I saw the papers it contained. It was the contract that said his dad's company will be my mom's company's buyer. What the heck?
We performed really well, didn't we, Elena? The goal has been achieved, so we can drop the actress act now.
Leo, I don't understand.
Okay, let me explain, friends. Elena was dating me so she could use me to get my mom to promote her mom's business. I just made her wish come true. That's not true. You know what? I've had enough of your lies. I'm breaking up with you, Elena. Think of this as a parting gift.
Leo left, leaving me completely humiliated. I had to pretend nothing happened to keep everyone from laughing at me. On the way home, I cried as I walked. I had always been confident in my acting skills, but it turned out I was just a fool in my own love scenario. When I got home, I threw the envelope straight at my mom's face.
Hey!
We've achieved our plan. Why don't we throw a party tomorrow? My mom opened the envelope and was thrilled.
Okay, sweetie, time for celebration. Besides Leo, is there anyone else you'd like to invite?
Do whatever you want. We broke up, and tonight I'm going to New York. The acting school accepted my application.
Please don't go, I'll talk to him.
You'll do no such thing! This is the first time I'm leaving home for a foreign city. Not only does it help me forget everything, but it also brings me closer to my dream university. In a few years, my hard work paid off, and I became a popular actress. I even landed the lead role in an upcoming Marvel film. Then one day, I got a call from Mom's doctor who told me her health was deteriorating fast. I rushed back home immediately and found Mom in bed, looking so frail that it shook me.
Mom, why did you say you were okay?
I didn't want to bother you, just like how you didn't bother me before. I always thought you were wasting your time with acting, but you've proven me wrong. I'm sorry.
Mom, don't leave me alone!
Don't worry, she was exhausted from work and prolonged stress. But fortunately, we got her to the hospital in time.
I spent my life running after money, and I didn't value the priceless gift life had given me.
I hugged Mom, and it felt amazing. The next day, I went to her office and found out Mom's business had been falling apart for months. But there was one company still buying her products that kept her from completely going bankrupt. Leo's. I decided to meet him and thank him personally. When I went to his office, my heart skipped a beat seeing how handsome he looked.
Elena, it's been a while. You're just as beautiful as ever.
I still feel that spark. Something I haven't found with anyone else but Leo. Hey, I just wanted to say thank you for helping with my mom's business. But I'm curious. Why did you do it? Especially after humiliating me in front of everyone at the birthday party 5 years ago?
Actually, I overheard the conversation between you and your mom at the party, where she asked you to date me. I really love you, but I thought you were just playing a part. I was heartbroken, feeling like the only girl I'd truly loved was messing with my feelings. After all, Daisy told me everything, but it was too late. You had already left. It was all my fault, my selfishness. Maybe it would have been better if I'd just been a rock.
You loved me still, do? Suddenly, my heart started racing like never before. Then how about we start all over again?
Done deal. But first, I want to do something I've been dying to do since you walked in that door.
Leo leaned closer, and just when I thought he'd kiss me, he pulled off my scrunchie and we both started laughing. Hi, my name is Laura and I'm from Texas. Please like and subscribe. I live with my granny, and she's pretty much the only person I'm close with on this planet. After my parents passed away, she took me in and brought me up. However, growing up, I didn't have many companions. I was always dedicated to my academics, and that's how I managed to secure a scholarship at one of the top schools in the city. But events took an unexpected twist in the 10th grade. It all began when I chose to ride my bike to school one day. Just as I was about to park it, I stumbled over something. My bike then collided with a nearby car. Shoot! The car looked really expensive, and now it had a dent the size of an elephant. I was the queen of broke people. I'd never be able to pay for the damage. I had to get out of here. But just then, 2 evil-looking shadows showed up behind me, and one of them caught me.
Look at that! She ruined your car and now she's running from the crime scene.
Holy Jesus, not the terrible 2. John and Arthur were the 2 richest and hottest kids in school. However, everyone was afraid of them because they were notorious bullies. And now I had crashed into their car. This was the worst day ever. I wasn't running, and I didn't ruin it on purpose, I just accidentally.
Oh, Kitty. Accidentally or not, you're gonna have to pay for this.
Listen, man, I can't pay for it. You want my bicycle? You can have that.
You're making jokes now? You better arrange the money or else.
Oh God, what was I gonna do about these bullies? And then I recalled seeing them harassing a kid really badly after school recently, so I just blurted out, I know your secret, and I'm gonna tell it to the principal.
What secret?
I know what you guys did last Monday! For a moment, they looked shocked, but then John screamed.
What? How? How do you know that?
Judging from their freaked out faces, I could tell it was something significant, and they believed I knew about it. This was perfect. Well, I'm not going to tell you here, I'll tell you in front of the principal. Let's go now.
No, wait, we can talk this out.
Yeah, and you don't need to pay for anything here. Let me check. If your bike's broken, I'll buy you a new one. As many as you want. We'll do anything you say. We'll be your errand boys. But please, just don't tell anyone.
What in the father freaking world? The two most powerful senior guys in school were totally at my mercy. And I didn't even know why, but I pretended to keep it cool because I didn't want them to know I was bluffing. Sure. Then how about you start with carrying my bag? It's so heavy. My hand hurts. As I went around school that day with these two acting like my personal bodyguards, kids were looking at me like I was a magician who had the terrible two wrapped around my finger. The next day, as I stepped out of my house, John was already waiting for me in his brand new car. This was just getting better.
Hey, I'm here to pick you up. So tell me, do you want to go to the beach today or the movies?
What? No, I want to go to school and attend my classes. I have to submit my assignments next week.
Oh, come on, Laura! You should enjoy yourself and not study so hard. Arthur can do your assignments. He does mine all the time. No big deal.
That sounded good. But I wasn't sure if I trusted them enough to hang out with them outside school. What if they planned to kidnap me because of whatever their stupid secret was? So I insisted on going to school. When we reached there, they kept following me around. At first, it felt like I was some princess. But as the day went by, I realized this was a big problem. I had ballet practice after lunch, and just as I entered the girls' changing room, all the girls started screaming. When I turned around, I was stunned to see those two morons had followed me in. Have you both lost it? This is the girls' changing room.
All the more reason for us to be here, right, Arthur?
I pushed them out and locked the door from inside. But when I went to the dancing room, they were already there, dressed in ballerinas' clothes and dancing like toads. What the freaking crabs? What are you guys doing? You don't have to follow me everywhere.
Yes, we do. We can't risk it. What if you go and tell the principal behind our back?
I won't do that.
Well, guess what? We don't trust you.
They just wouldn't leave. And when it was my time to perform, they both started cheering and hooting like they were my craziest fans. What could be the big secret that was making them do all these things to keep me from going to the principal? But as much as I wanted to know, I wanted to get rid of them too. The next day, I left home before they could get here. And even at school, I was on my toes watching out for them. Then during lunchtime, this football jock at school who I had a huge crush on came and sat next to me.
You're the popular girl who tamed those rich brats. And I'm impressed. I like strong and dominating girls. Like you. How about we go, ow!
Arthur picked him up by the collar and threw him out of the seat.
How about I give you a taste of strong and dominating guys?
Arthur, stop! What are you doing? As soon as Arthur let him go, he just ran away. Ugh, why did you do that? He was gonna ask me out?
He asks everyone out. He's a jerk.
Oh, have you looked in the mirror lately? You're the bigger jerk here. With that, I pushed him aside and stormed out of there angrily. Later that day, I was in the library when I saw that football jock kissing some girl behind a bookshelf. Arthur was right. He really was a jerk. I picked up a book and tossed it right at his head.
Ouch!
Well, he deserved it. After that, I went back to solving my math assignment, but I was getting none of the answers correct.
Easy there, Tigress. Let me help you with those.
Help me? Do you even know the— Whoa, how did you do that? I was stunned that this guy, who looked like he probably bought his grades with his dad's money, was actually good at studying. He helped me with my assignments, and honestly, I was starting to feel that he wasn't so bad after all. Just as I was about to apologize for calling him a jerk earlier, John barged into the library.
Thanks for keeping an eye on her while I was away.
Of course. Arthur was just here to babysit me. I felt so dumb thinking he might be nice 2 seconds ago.
So, who's ready to go and watch the new Spider-Man movie?
OMG! I'd been waiting for this movie for months. I screamed so loud with excitement that the librarian kicked us all out. Later that evening, when we stepped out of the movies, it was pretty chilly. Suddenly, Arthur took off his jacket and wrapped it around me. Such a good actor he was. I knew if it wasn't for their secret, he wouldn't care even if I was screaming for help. Soon after, he ran ahead to get the car, and that's when John took my hand and suddenly pulled me close. Whoa, what are you doing?
Aw, come on. I can clearly see you're interested in me. That's why you're playing the blackmail game to keep me close.
What? In your dreams?
That attitude of yours, it's just got me going crazy for you, babe. How about you give me a kiss, now?
This jerk. I was about to push him really hard when suddenly Arthur pulled him away and punched him hard in the face. John landed on his butt.
How dare you touch her?
What the heck, dude? Did you forget who you are? You're a stinky lowlife rat who lives off my leftovers. And how dare you touch me?
Lowlife rat, what was he talking about?
I know who I am, but don't you dare touch her again. Because if you do, I'll shove those leftovers down your throat.
Whoa! It seemed like Arthur was a whole different person. He took my hand, and then we both left from there. All the way back home, he didn't say a word, and I could feel there was something about him that I didn't know. I was getting more and more curious. When we reached home, I handed him his jacket back, and I just couldn't stop myself. Arthur, why did John say all those things about you? I mean, you're rich too.
No, I'm not, Laura. I know it looks like that because I'm always hanging out with John, but I'm a poor nobody.
I don't really understand.
My dad used to work for John's dad, but he passed away a few years back, and I have a sick mom to take care of. John convinced his dad to take us in, and he helps me with money. But basically, since then, I have to do everything he asks me to do.
Oh boy, my heart sank listening to that, and suddenly I just hugged him tight. Thanks for doing what you did for me today, Arthur, and I'm sorry.
Don't be. He totally deserves it. But I really wish you'd never seen us do it. And then you wouldn't be involved with jerks like us.
Seen what? Suddenly he looked at me with surprise. The secret he was talking about, the big secret? Oh yeah, totally saw that.
Wait a second. You don't know what it is, do you? Now that I think about it, you never really mentioned it, because you don't know what it is.
I panicked, and then you guys assumed I knew your secret.
Laura, how can you even do something like this, knowing how bad John is? If he knows you don't know, he'll... Oh God, I can't believe this.
He stormed off angrily, and now my heart was pumping like crazy for what was going to happen next. The next day, when I reached school, I saw Arthur was still hanging out with John. But his face was full of bruises, like someone had hit him really bad. Of course, it was John. Later, when Arthur was all alone in the boys' washroom, I went in. Why are you letting him treat you this way? I know it's John who beat you up.
What are you doing here? And I told you I owe him. Just stay out of it. I don't want you getting hurt.
But you're willing to get hurt all alone? This is wrong, Arthur. You can't let him ruin your life like this. What he's doing to you and the other kids around school, this has to stop.
Yes, but there's nothing I can do.
You can. You've always been with him. You know everything he does. You can go and tell the principal all about it.
But I was there with him in everything he did. I helped him. If I rat him out, I'll be out of school, and I'll be on the streets with my mom.
Just then, John came out of nowhere and pinned me against the wall.
So you're planning to ruin me, huh? You have no idea who you're messing with, little birdie.
And you have no idea who you're messing with, you ugly crow. I smashed my head hard into his face, and he fell to the floor crying in pain. Arthur grabbed my hand, and we ran out of there.
I'm going to the principal. You're right. I can't be a coward and let him hurt everyone like this. Especially you, Laura. I'll deal with the outcomes later.
I'll be right there with you. We went into the principal's office, and Arthur confessed everything, from John's bullying incidents to the biggest secret of all. After the principal had told John he was going to fail in most of his subjects, John trashed the principal's brand new car. One evening, he smashed the windows and the lights and spray painted all over it, with Arthur's help. The principal immediately called John in and said he was going to be expelled. Since Arthur had confessed everything, he was going to be suspended for a while and made to do volunteer work. And suddenly, John turned to Arthur.
You filthy moron! I fed you and you backstabbed me. You're done too, Arthur. Even if you aren't expelled, you can't stay in this school without me paying your fee. And your mom? Who's gonna pay for her treatments now? It would have been better if you had kept following my orders like a loyal puppy. And now you're doomed.
And that's when John's dad walked in looking horrified.
That's enough. I had no idea I was raising such a brat. How dare you exploit this poor kid? Arthur, don't you worry, son. I'm here for you.
Dad, I'm so sorry.
Not a word. Your principal told me everything on the phone, and the rest I've heard myself. I'm sending you to an army school right away.
John kept begging his dad, but it didn't seem like it was going to work in his favor. When Arthur and I walked out of the room, I turned to him and said, "How do you feel?"
Never been better. Thanks to you, Laura, I was able to be brave.
I'm just so happy things will be better for you. So now that there's no secret, are you still going to be nice to me?
Yeah, I'll carry your bag every day.
And then he pulled me in for a kiss.